Welcome to Tom, the Ordinary Migrant Podcast.
People who say it cannot be done should not interrupt those who are doing it. I'm going to drink my cup of tea and then I'm going to repeat it for you. Just your standard black tea today. 2 sugars. White sugars, unfortunately. I ran out of the old brown. I'll have to deal with that tomorrow. People who say it cannot be done should not interrupt those who are doing it. What a special, simple statement. I think that's something to live by. In fact, that's something that people should acknowledge and think about quite often. You know, growing up, this is one of the sentiments that has stayed with me up until this point now, as bizarre as that is. You know, I'm always doing things, and those things are things that are either progressive or allow for development in whatever I'm doing, and it allows for growth and it allows for people to be involved in whatever capacity they want to be involved in. Now, I say that to say this. Running is freeing me. Because as insane as it sounds, I find it so easy and I just enjoy it. Now, that's not to say the training's easy. That's not to say I'm just running and making everything a piece of cake. But when I run, I feel alive. I feel like I'm capable again. I feel like I can do whatever it is that I want to do. And if there's anything I want to achieve, I can achieve it, because all that is required is for me to manage and tailor my my autonomy, shall we say, and what goes in it, and how I recover, how I look after myself. You know, it's all down to me, and that's something I can do. like I have been doing with many of the different businesses, opportunities, skills, talents that I've exhibited since I was young. And you know, since I've started this podcast and since I started running again, I think back to the letter that Notts AC Athletics sent me. I think it was year 9. It must have been year 9 when they asked me to come and either train or trial for the team, or join the team, whatever it may have been at the time. And I struggle to class myself as an ex-athlete, because I should actually say I am an ex-athlete, because for pretty much the entirety of my secondary school and primary school, I was an athlete in primary school. I played tag rugby and I went to different schools and stuff like that. You know, it's just I've always been doing sports, and I've always been spotted as one of the people that should be doing sport. Every single sport I got into, somebody just saw me doing something, minding my own business, and then joined a team, and then so on and so on. You know, you're a child at the time, so you're kind of at the will of the elders that see what it is that they see and take you to wherever they take you, and then you just sort of carry that on, you know, unless you're, I don't know, just stubborn and you were born with a brain that seems to know everything straight away, which is impossible. You know, it's impossible. If you happen to be that person, it means that you are seeing that somewhere. You know, it might even be a neighbour. You might have a neighbour who's just absolutely switched on. You just see them being clockwork. They get up at 4 a.m. and they're out by 5 a.m. for 10 years in your whole life, and you see that. So you might not even acknowledge what that person's done for you in that time, but actually a neighbour could be a baseline for somebody being great or whatever it may be. It can just be a total stranger, but as long as you have that closeness in range with them, they will have an impact on you, unfortunately, directly or indirectly. But I say this. Am I an athlete? Am I an ex-athlete? Whatever it may be. I did the 800 meters, I did the 1500 meters, I did the 200 meters, I did the relay. And I did the hurdles. I think I'm going to call myself an ex-athlete. And that's just, it's such a shame because I just don't remember, like, ever coming in a bad position. So evidently I should have just pursued this, or somebody should have pursued this. So yeah, I mean, I found myself in this crossroads of, let's get the pi out squared out, you know what I mean? What's the diameter? Oh, cross section. Yeah, we're on this crossroad. And I'm just thinking to myself, it could be a blessing in disguise because I'm free. I'm essentially free because of Hidradenitis Suppurativa. I now feel, it is a task for me to be in that field that I have qualified and trained in. But actually, I look back at the last 10 years and I think to myself, what has it given me? Other than sort of stress, anxiety, something I didn't even think was something I had, but trust me, now I know it, I can feel it, I know it instantly. And actually, now that I think back, I've always had it, but I just didn't know how to deal with it back then, and I would always just sort of shut down. But it goes back to the reason we started this podcast as well. So, I mean, the next couple of episodes are sort of going to go into this a little bit more, and that's why I'm sort of starting this journey, if you will, on this episode. I mean, we've had a really good week of training. You're talking 6 days running. 6 days of activities, 5 days of running, 1 day of just a yoga. But I have been doing yoga even in some of those periods of running. And, I am finding that is helping quite a great deal. I managed to hit some 8 milers, which is fantastic. Honestly, to me, it shows I'm progressing, and I'm feeling great afterwards. I don't feel exhausted. My body doesn't feel like it's in bits. Actually, I feel like I could do more. I reckon I could go 5 times what I'm doing right now. So that's what excites me for that next season, next year. Even though this year is my entry, I will be doing the Robin Hood marathon, so half marathon. So for me, it's important that I come into this and let people know that actually I'm here to stay this time around, and there is nothing within the State Dependency pulling me left, right, up, down, or anything that is going to distract me. And that's essentially why I started that podcast with that famous quote from, is it George Shaw, I think it is? George Bernard Shaw, Nobel Prize winner, one of the only people to have won a Nobel Prize and an Academy Award. The great thinkers of the world, the people that allow their minds to roam free, and then it invokes other people to, look at themselves in reflection. I think the age of enlightenment is constant, if I'm honest, because that's essentially what we have in every generation, in every time, in every era. There is always a number of people that are great thinkers that challenge the status quo for the good, and it shouldn't be to harm. It's just words. Now, words are obviously powerful things, but we just have to be careful and mindful that as we speak, we don't directly try and affect other people's being. Yeah, that's my whole thing. So I say that statement, and I am so appreciative of all the people that I have met in the past and that have given me the opportunities that they have given me, but there's a lot of people that I just wish they would have just left me alone. Purely because even the first football team that I joined in Nottingham at the time, no disrespect to the coach. I've just got a lot of love for him. I respect him so much, but I was just playing out, and he just spotted me. What team to play for? Oh, let me see you do kick-ups. Evidently, I think I did like 30 or something at the time. He just wanted me to do 10. And again, I probably could have done more, but he'd look at me so competitive. But anyway, and I just, now thinking back to that team, I mean, my first game I scored 2 goals, and then the next game I scored a goal after that, and then after that it was just like, pew, everything went silent. I don't really remember what happens after that, other than the type of people I'm around, or exactly the type of people I was around when I first came to this country, and it gave me that sort of, I kind of went back to that exact state dependency, that exact moment of, when Shane first came to this country, he met these people that were the same colour as him, but they did not treat him in that manner. Do you see what I'm saying? So for me, I've just always had this, yeah, right, because I've lived it. I've lived an experience that says to me, not all kinfolk, not all skinfolk are kinfolk. And it's not even just a joke. It's like something I truly believe in. I don't trust a soul. Somebody may be the same skin colour as you, but it means nothing. It means nothing, because the way I was treated when I first came to this country by black people, in comparison to the way I was treated by other people, Asian people or white people, they were a lot more receptive, more welcoming than the black people were, unfortunately. And that's not me saying that there's anything wrong with us as black people, but my God, I just come from a place where everybody's kind of kind-hearted, and we try and be welcoming and be understanding of any one person or their beliefs or what they are, So yeah, it was kind of a culture shock for me, but I ended up in that. So everything that I had worked for, everything that I had trained for, all these skills, all these abilities are just dying because I'm being picked up by people who are taking me to environments that I should not be around. Like, put me in a different environment altogether, and I thrive because we have got that as proof. And there's times where I think I've joined the football team on a Saturday, and I've smashed it 9 goals in like 4 games or something ridiculous like that. Literally to the point where we are just winning things back to back. And then when I leave that team and I'm 16 and onwards, I'm playing with players that have been playing pro while I've been at school just waiting for the opportunity or for something to come knocking. But unfortunately, the team that I'm playing for at the time they've already selected who they think they want to go forward. So you see that also, and unfortunately I'm just I can see it. I can see things happening, and unfortunately I won't sort of make noise about it or anything. I'll just go into a silent box, if you will, because what's the point? People know what they're doing. That's what they want to do. That's fine. Let it be that. But again, why interrupt me? Why bring me there? Evidently, I was somebody on a mission who was training for the right opportunity, for the right people to come knocking. And I have had some of the right people. I was thinking back to a time when you're going to laugh at this because I don't know if I've mentioned this, but a time when I did music. And actually, when I think back, that was a way of me expressing myself at the time and trying to convey all the trauma that I'd gone through, because I couldn't articulate it, right? So I couldn't speak to people and be able to tell people what it is that I'm going through or what it is that I am as a person. I'm just sort of there and I exist, and whatever else is around me, that's what kind of gets attached to me, even though actually 9 times out of 10 I probably don't think the same as anybody around me whatsoever. I'm thinking something completely different, because my God, no, 100%. That's why nobody actually knows me. They think they know me. They have these views of me, and I'm just sat there thinking, whoa, okay, that's nice. continue with that narrative, but please do not involve me. You can talk about all of that over there. I just don't even want any parts of it, because I'm not the type of person that has silly conversations that are not real. I can only have real conversations. And I remember growing up, people would say things to me like, "Don't be so serious. You take things too seriously." And I'm here now, like, well, you see, what was I telling them? But now apparently I was taking things too seriously. But actually, they should have listened to me, shouldn't they? But you know what? I hate being the person that has to say, "I told you so," because actually I would rather say, "We did it, guys. We thought ahead, and we all agreed, and we all saw. We had that foresight." That's a better feeling to me than to be saying, "I told you so." Who wants to be that person? It's boring. It's horrible, actually. And actually, who wants that responsibility? Because I don't. That's for sure. But it just, this week has put so much positivity in me. I've done a 33-mile week, which is the highest week we've done so far. So next week I'm hoping to push that up to about 40. I'm not trying to do it too much. I know it should be only going up by circa 10% or whatever, but 10% that is just too little. It's too little. We need more than that. We need 3 times a lot of that, really, if I'm honest, but we won't get that. But as long as I can sort of get that 40 at least, I think then we'll be off to a good time for the Robin Hood half marathon, which I think is going to be exhilarating. I'm hoping to sort of run the trail soon, and when we run that, it will probably give us a inkling of what we should do. My pacing is definitely getting better. I mean, the easy run I did today, I think I did a 4-miler, and it was 40 minutes, and it was just taking it steady, and it just felt good. And actually, I wanted to run faster because, like, for me, those easy runs are horrible. Like, my legs were just far too heavy. But again, that's because I need to do speed work, which is this week, because of obviously the health issues that I've had in the last couple of weeks. It's been hard, that fatigue, that just constant exhaustion. I'm a parent, like I'm a new parent as well, so it's kind of hard because I can't actually switch off. So I'm it's double whammy for me at the minute, or triple whammy, should we say? So, but I love that side of things. I can't complain about it. I can only be frustrated at not trusting my own intuition and trusting my gut, because had I just listened to myself and just did what I wanted to do, I don't think I would even be having the conversations that I'm having now. I'd be having them in a different manner. But unfortunately, because of the way we've had to sort of go down, the road that we've sort of had to go down, I now have to clear up any sort of misinformation or misunderstandings or just lack of awareness or comprehension, should we say, of myself, so that as and when I start to perform, I have no ag, if I'm honest, because I just don't I have no time. I have no time, because the one thing that's been stolen for me, I believe, by society is time. If we talk about like safeguarding and welfare and well-being and stuff like that, but I don't think that is something that is true. I mean, for the first time ever, I signed up to bloody universal credit, and I couldn't believe that they were essentially saying that there was I wouldn't get any money for essentially 2 months, and when I do eventually get money, it's £400. I thought to myself, right, because that's worth it, right? That's not worth it. I'm not being funny. Just get on a bike, do some Uber Eats. There's so many other things you can do one day a week for that exact same money. So it's like, I don't really see why anybody would sign up for it, if I'm honest, other than potentially using it for it. I have no idea. I just have no idea. So I I don't think I care about it. I don't think I probably would bother if I'm honest. It just seems like a lot of work. And then you just consider the amount of tax that I've paid in the last 10 years and the amount of value I've brought into the economies that I've sort of worked in. You know, I mean, come on, I've lived in Kent, Sheffield, and all of these places. I can pretty much say I can walk there now and I guarantee I'll probably meet somebody that I know. And that's not to say that I know everyone, no. But for some reason, I just happen to know the nucleuses of people at every given point. I don't know why that is. It just seems to happen that way for me. And it's so strange. It doesn't matter what city I go to, I will always meet the nucleuses of people. And I think, again, sometimes that may be a problem because I just meet these people and then happen to find out that actually loads of people think that they're a big deal. And I think, oh okay, I didn't know that. And then it may look to other people as somebody that's like going around being essentially a gold digger, if you will, but for individuals. But mate, far from it. My God, I honestly, like I always say, we are one of one, but we are not special. The variables and the pathways in which we sort of walk will never be the same and are never the same, and no 24 hours is the same. I'm so sorry. No, it's not, because I wake up every single morning with HS. Yeah, I get up every second with HS. I pick up a cup with HS. So I don't just have the same 24 hours as Molly May, unfortunately, you know? So it's not the same 24 hours. We all get 24 hours, but let's be honest, it's not like for like. It's not apples for apples. But yeah, no, I do encourage people to utilize their 24 hours as best as they can, especially and before you have health issues and children and a home to sort of look after. That can be very taxing on the body. So I tell you now, rise up and take it serious. Take everything serious. Let nobody distract you from what is serious. If you believe in something and you want to do something and it causes no harm to people, crack on. Yeah. But please, can we start with this dynamic pricing? What is dynamic? You know, I hate sometimes the commercial world is just a bit too much. Like that's just a bit much for me. We need to find out who started this dynamic pricing thing and ask them why they think it was a good idea. Because I know that somebody in the trading world is going to say it's a good idea because it increases their yield at certain points. You know, but okay, how does that help the average person, the ordinary individual, day to day? Because it's ridiculous. I can't believe I paid 20 odd quid for a Uber to travel sort of 6, 7 miles. I could run that in 30 minutes. Oh God, I kid, but you know, seriously, but I just think it's a bit much. Before I close off, there was something that I wrote down on here, so that I definitely wanted to talk about. There was a period of time when I was really young, and I say probably around 13, within the youth centres. Do you know, I've always been a person that either people that worked in the what did they used to call those people that used to work in the care workers? Was it social workers? I'd have social workers and stuff asking me, if I would want to be a mentor and stuff to the other kids. And when I think back to myself now, I was like 13. How can I be a mentor to anybody when I'm 13? Surely I need to be mentored, you know. And like when I think back, that's been like the theme of my life. Even when I got to secondary school, it was the same. I'd be in year 10 or year 11 or whatever it may be, and there'd be kids in years below, and I would have to be their mentor. I'd have to go meet them and talk to them and tell them, no, it's all right, come on, you don't have to be like, you know, you don't have to be like blah, 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 and whatever else. And the reason for that, I think, was because I was a young black guy who didn't really conform to anything or anyone, but unfortunately it's so strange that there's just moments of conformance that then make it your reality. So you can have like 6 moments or 7 moments in which you lived a certain way that then shape that entire past. And I think that's ridiculous, because my God, if people knew who I was and the life I have lived before they knew me, they would realize that 3-4 years that they're around me is not even a droplet to the things I've experienced. Actually, it's nothing. I've probably seen it before. Like, I come from a very big family. You're talking 20 to 30 plus people, of people that I was around. So now you think about 20 to 30, and I'm talking uncles and aunties here. So, you know, times that number by maybe 2 or 3, because reproduction of, you know, everybody there. So you're talking 100 odd people, yeah, that I know and spoke to growing up as a child. So I've seen every dynamic. I know most dynamics. I know every type of characteristics and personality trait and whatever. I know the greed. I know the selfish. I know the manipulative. I know the happy. I know the really kind. I know the genuine. I know it all. So I always talk from a position of, I've seen this before, or I know this before. Not if not that, the friends of the uncles and aunties and so on, you know. So it's for me, it's so much bigger than that. And like, you've got to remember that then your grandparents have then got brothers and sisters of their own, and those family members I know. So there is no characteristics or personality trait I haven't met in terms of like, oh, I can understand why that person thinks like that type of thing, because I've known people that think like that, and I know why they normally think like that. There'll be small variables here and there, or really big major ones that will come out, and I'm like, oh really? Oh, that surprised me, or something. But that's very rare. It's very rare. Like, you could, like, a Jeffrey Dahmer to me doesn't surprise me. As weird as that is, even though I don't have any Jeffrey Dahmers around me, I can see how a personality like Jeffrey Dahmer, left alone, unchecked, can do something like that. And there's loads of people that have characteristics that show that actually, if they were left alone for a long period of time, they wouldn't choose to do the right thing, if that makes sense. So yeah, there's loads of little things like that that I've sort of grown up sort of harbouring, if you will, and just having to leave it and just wait my time, if you will. And I guess this is my time because I'm talking about it now, but for a period of time I didn't know how to talk about it and how to stop it. So I just rolled with the motions. Even like some of the friendship groups I ended up having, I remember like one particular guy, me and him just never got on. As soon as I came to that school, me and him never got on. We never liked each other, we never spoke. In fact, I would pretty much go as far as to say there was a major dislike between me and the guy. But can you tell me how apparently there was a period of time where me and this fella happened to make everything be okay. And again, there was no problem to begin with. Yes, I understand that, but I did not want to be around somebody like that, because what I wanted to achieve and all the things I was trying to achieve were outside of what they were all trying to achieve, if that makes sense. Like, I ended up getting sucked into something because it just looked like all the things that I was doing was a waste of time. And actually, unfortunately, that ecosystem, support system, even from that family side of things, was terrible, because I was a fantastic football player. And unfortunately, I just didn't want to be one as well, if I'm honest. I really did not want, oh God, just the attention and all of that sort of stuff that it comes with. It's so off-putting. And I know so many talented players who could have done so well, but because of that sort of limelight and not being able to deal with it and how it would affect them, people just drop out. People just don't care. People rather just relax, chill, live an easy life. I know loads. And I would even go as far as to say the players that were much better than me, you know. So it's a tough world out there, and that's why I say the best is subjective to who decides and who's got the environment, or who the environment allows, and who allows the environment to be shaped for them and allow it to be sort of shaped in their path rather than be boxed in an environment, which is what a lot of people can find themselves in, you know. So yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult, but I'm looking forward to it. I really am. Every single journey that I have taken up until this point may have been grueling, but at the end of the day, I haven't gotten started yet, and it's only now I'm getting started. And I think it only be right that I be a little bit just selfish and push on, if I'm honest. Take what I need and what I believe I should be doing in the world, because I think I've got a lot of value to add in more ways than one. And it's obviously the case. If I tell you that I have people call me up now, and when they call me, it's always so interesting the type of things that they call me about and try and talk to me about, because it's like, oh, you want my opinion, do you? Who am I? You know, that's my thing now. So I'm of that ilk now, where I don't really like to give opinions or help people like that, if I'm honest. Because for what reason? Why am I doing it? What are you going to go do with that information that I give you? You know, does that mean that you're going to then forget this conversation and then in 6 months' time try and relay that same information that I relayed to you and then think that you told me it? Because I do see that quite a lot. It's so strange. And sometimes I want to call it out and I just think, okay. But it's always so easy to catch people out because I can say, yeah, where did you get that from? Because so-and-so said that as well. That's something that I say a lot, you know? But yeah, it's just... It's a difficult thing dealing with people, and I think I've obviously found the way to do it now, and I think it's best just to do it in the transactional way that we should be doing it in. I no longer want to pretend that me and people are best friends, or that I may like people if they don't like me. I mean, show me respect and I show you respect. It's as simple as that. If you don't show me respect, then whatever, don't care, I'm not looking at you, I'm not bothered, you know. But if you acknowledge me, I will definitely acknowledge you back, because that's respect. That's showing a human being that they exist and that they are no less than any other human being, you know. Because some of us can put the burners on and we can show you that we can be that. But anyhow, it's been a really good podcast today, and I was just sort of testing myself, getting ready for these next couple of ones because they're going to be big. But I am only going to release them in segments, and also some of them are going to be on a Patreon, because I ain't airing out my dirty laundry for free. How you must be crazy. But anyway, yeah, kids, I'm only joking, but I do mean that though. I meant the voice. Sub 18, where art thou, eh? I am going to probably push that sub 18 in 2 weeks. I'm not pushing it now. Speed work this week, easy runs this week, and then next week we push. But yeah, looking forward to it. Peace.